Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to another patch review. That's right, another patch review. This is patch notes for patch 1.4.155, aka the 16th of May patch for 2017, also known as the Javelin patch, or what it's most likely going to be known for is the skill tree patch. There, I just summed up the patch. There you go. Bye. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. Just kidding. So as you can see here, as of today, actually in about an hour, this live stream or this patch is going to go live. Or the servers are going to go down. They're going to start instituting it. It's going to take longer than normal. This patch is going to take 3 hours apparently to put through. It's mostly due to back-end database updates that they have to do for everyone to get the refund. Updates and things like that. Apparently there's some stuff in the background that needs to be done to make sure that you, the player, get your stuff. So, what's happening in this one? Well, we already mentioned the Javelin, as you can see, which is the first thing we're going to look at. There's been some balance changes. There's the clan hero mechs that are now available for the MC, and obviously the skill tree. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to skip right past the skill tree, and we're going to go straight down to the bottom and talk about all the other stuff first. I'm also going to zoom out. So obviously, the first thing we're talking about is the Javelin. So the Javelin is a 2751 light mech. I think it's 30 tons. From the builds I've been seeing, it looks pretty dangerous. As you can see here, for MC, it will be available as of August 8th, and then free as of September 5th. All obviously minus the special edition / hero mechs as well, or mech, because there's only one this time. There's the 10N, the 10F, the 10P, the 11A, the 11B, and the hi there, the hero, with 30% C-bill boost, which isn't too bad. 3 main colors that come with the pack if you buy it, which isn't too bad. Well, we'll have an appearance of LRM 10. This will be so. Oh, well, there's already no issue with the with the mech. Hope you enjoyed your $20. No, just kidding. So it looks like the Streak 2 looks like an LRM 10. No big deal. There is some ancient Rome stuff in here. They were known for throwing javelins. Though the Javelin Warhorn is an SPQR shield. That's Latin for the Imperial Rome. So I'm not too sure why they did that, but They got the Olympian and Tip of the Spear. Badges and titles, not too bad. Obviously there's some new decals in the game, or decals, depending on how you pronounce them. Some clan different groups, and some stuff over here. Not bad, actually. I don't mind it. As we mentioned before, Wave 1 Clan Heroes. By the way, I'm only doing this once. I'm not even going to edit it. Usually, when I start talking a little gibberishy, I just stop the recording and do it all over again. I'm trying this new thing where I just don't. I'm just going to go. Main reason I'm kind of restricted for time today. Long story short, I'm restricted in time. End of round 1 premium time booster will now be updated. Your C-bill and XP rewards for the match results to reflect the applied boost. What? Don't exactly understand what that means. Looks like they're updating the cadet bonus to give GXP instead of XP. Or no, they're giving it, more XP and more money from the looks of it. Not too bad. Mastery references have been removed from the Mastery bundles. 20, 30, 50 clue cockpit has been fixed. Adder, standing items no longer hang off the edge of the cockpit. Thunderbolt 9S, 9SS, 9SC. Fixing an issue where the shots fired would be affected by the target ricochet caused by jump jets. Good to know. Game modes now awaited by our event staff for selection in the voting screen and enable greater flexibility. Oh, so the events. Okay, that's kind of cool. Basically, this line here, that means that if there's an event going on, they can weight the maps according to an event. So if there's like a a domination event going on. They can actually make the maps mostly dominant. Mostly domination mode, I guess. And domination, the better domination mode maps are maps that fit the domination mode. Or if there's a map specific. I'm trying to think if there's anything coming up. I mean, there's Easter. There's my girlfriend and I's anniversary this weekend. I can't see the PGI having an event for that. I don't know. Let's contemplate it. I wear a lot of gray shirts, I just realized. The Victor and the Quick Draw are getting missile refits. They're not getting the heart points reset. They're just getting the updated models for it, which look pretty good. I actually like it. And the Victor, I like it actually. Wait. No, the Victor and the Quick Draw. Yeah, okay. Quick Draw, Victor. That's how you download the stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, so that is the other stuff out of the way. Now what we're going to get into is the skill tree, which you're all probably so excited for now. The new skill tree. So basically the skill tree is to create better depth and control for player customization and specialization of their mechs. Basically, the quirk system failed. And this is a way for you to kind of personalize your mech just that little bit more and be able to do things. So overall, it's broken down into the skill tree, which is oh my god, wow, we go count this. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. There's the skill class. It tells you your firepower, mobility, all that stuff. The node, which is just the rectangular, the hexagonal little node there. A lock node is one of these. Unlock node, or well, an inactive node is like this, and one that you've selected is like that. No big deal. I'm going to be doing a live stream the moment the moment I've got the patch done. We're going to go right into the skill tree. We're going to look to see our refund, and I'm actually going to go over the skill tree myself, what I know about it. They have changed the firepower tree a little bit to be more generic, but they've strung out those generic quirks, so we'll see. Here's what you're going to get. Skill points, general skill points, historic skill points, Mech XP, General XP, Historical XP. So overall, there's going to be 6 currencies in the game for the moment. Later on, that'll actually drop down to 4 technically. It'll just be skill points, general skill points, XP, and general XP, and that's it. Just those 4. Theoretically, they're talking about the fact that even general skill points will no longer be a thing unless you can buy them. Yeah, right there. Never mind. So long term, we're actually only going to have 3 currencies technically when it comes to this stuff: skill points, XP, and GXP. Then C bills, and then MC. But when it comes to this stuff, actually, I don't mind it. It's not bad. They're going to go from 6 down to 3, basically, after a couple months. Basically, historical XP is your XP from your mech that wasn't spent as of an hour from now. If you're watching this video, well, it's too late. General XP is all the stuff you spent on your nodes for the weapon systems, like your cooldown, your ranges, and all that stuff. Those are all getting refunded back to us as GXP. Mech XP specifically, that's XP you're earning starting, I don't know, for me at 3 p.m. EST. Every time you have a match, it's now just regular Mech XP as it was before, but the historical XP is the stuff that was carried over in the patch. Historical skill points are the skill points you get for the equivalent of what you mastered in the old system. So, with that in mind, Domino's Pizza just sent me an email. With that in mind, if you've mastered your mech, you get 91 historical skill points. If you got only a certain amount done, you only get a certain amount. Every skill on the old system correlates to a set number of skill points associated with how much XP it costs. They basically took the amount and divided it by the cost of what the new nodes are, and that's what they got the number. So I believe it's 800 XP for one skill node now. So basically, for the majority of the first tier ones, the heat dissipation, which is the top left, is worth 1. The majority of the rest of them are worth 2, 3, 4, and 5, which isn't too bad, actually. So as long as you get your mech basic, I think you get 20... Don't quote me here. I think you get 21 nodes, which we'll get into momentarily. Here is how it's going to look when you get your refund. It's going to be broken down into your how much C-bills you're getting back. That is for your modules as of the announcement date, which was December 3rd, 2016, I believe. Modules purchased after December 3rd, the date of the original skill tree announcement, will be refunded in the form of C-bills. So there you go. But the first thing you're going to see is consumables. So all your UAVs, artillery strikes, cool shots, you name it that you have with C-bills, you're going to get that back in C-bills, which is really good. All consumables that you received in MC that you either bought yourself or received in tournaments or events, sorry. You're getting all those back in MC, which is really good. Refund from modules, GSP. This is the actual modules, so like your advanced zoom modules, your seismic, all that stuff. If you bought it before December 3rd, before the announcement, you're getting general skill points. Those are skill points that you can put on any single mech. Basically, for a $3 million, if they haven't changed it, for a $3 million module, you're getting, I believe it was 70 some odd skill points, or it was something 0.7 skill points. It was quite a lot, actually. You're going to be able to get a mech pretty much through the basics of what you wanted to get done. And quite right so. Refund for modules and C-bills. That's every module you bought since the announcement. Everyone's getting their C-bills back. Last but not least, pilot nodes. That's, well, your rain. That's your things like your time on target for your artillery to increase. It's better for that 40,000 XP that it was. Your ranges, your cooldowns, all those things. Those are all being refunded in GXP for you. So here's how it looks like when it's the consumables. Here's what it looks like when it's the MC consumables. Oh, here we go. So you can see a target info gathering. There's 8 of them. The person's getting 355 C-bills. You're getting 133 C-bills for a $6 million node. Shock absorbance, radar derp. Well, here we go. 266.7. How much is that divided by 2? 260. 133.35. What? Because there's... What? Oh, each one of those are 6 million worth. Okay, never mind. 66 is 1. Well, there you go. You can see right there. 88 generic skill points to go to any mech you want. From, for example, Enhanced Narc that gives you, that's 4 million. Don't remember ever spending 4 million on any of that. But, so you're looking at 70 some odd for a 3 million C-bill thing, which means you're able to spec on a mech pretty good. Here is for the overall breakdown for C-bills, which is really good. You're getting, everything as is back, no big deal. And then for the pilot nodes itself, obviously, node level, well, you only got 1 done, right? The time you'll have more here is if you have more than 1 mech for one specific chassis. Here is the breakdown. So if you have a mech basic, at least, you're going to get 23 nodes, historical nodes to go towards that mech. I'm really looking forward to that. 34 additional to that if you have it deleted, meaning the second tier is completely finished. So that's a total of 57 skill points. If you've unlocked that last module slot, it bumps it up additional 34, which makes it, boom, 91. Which isn't too bad, actually. Here's how it's going to look like when you'll actually see how much mechs you have versus overall progression versus the amount per mech, and then the end is how much you're getting. So, for example, right here, this person had a Cataphat 2X that they played. sold a Cataphat 2X, and went their merry way. They had 8 out of 13 unlocked. Of those 8, they were receiving 23 skill points, so that's probably basic. Yep, that's basic. And they're getting 23. Even though they don't have that mech anymore, they're not getting it as GXP, or general skill points, or GSP. They're going to be getting it for that mech still, even if you don't own it anymore. Kind of like how it is now. I like that. I don't mind that, actually. It's something where you can sell the mech and then come back to it later and spec it out exactly how you want it to. What I want to know is if you spend it on the mech and then you sell the mech or you buy the mech, do you then have all the points and have to select them again, or do you just, or the ones you already got already unlocked? That'd be something interesting to see. As you can see here, this person has a Centurion 9A. Or Centurion A, sorry. They have 3 of them, and they only unlocked one thing on it. So they're only getting, that's probably the heat efficiency one, the top left-hand corner one, the one for 750. So they're getting 1 per mech, so they're getting in total 3. Which is pretty good. So this is where the rule of 3 plus comes in. Those are people like myself who have multiple mechs for one specific mech. Before they weren't too sure what they were going to do, so they just gave it to you as a big pool. Now, you can put it towards whichever one you want. You can have one mastered, and then work on the other one. And actually have 2 separate complete builds on them now, too. And have them even play differently, which will be pretty good. Overall, once you run out of these general skill points and overall skill points, obviously, you're going to have to buy them. Right now, it's just regular XP, right? You grind for a month, earn that 2,000-3,000 XP, unlock it, you're good to go. At this current point, you get a skill node. Skill node is worth 45,000 C-bills and 800 XP. Of any kind. Both XP, Mech XP or GXP. Now, one of the things I really like about this is something very, very good. They averaged it, and the reason why they came to this number was because they actually looked at how much players were playing. The average player. Not, guys like the Beef or guys like Al. They looked at the average player, not me, because I sure is only the average player. Because apparently the average player earns more than I earn in a match. But they worked it out to the average player earns about 125 to 185, I think it was, 1,000 C-bills a match, and earns roughly 800 C-bills. Or sorry, 800 XP. So when they worked this out, they realized that the average player can unlock 1 node per match, excluding the ×2 for your first win of the day. Your first match, any match, you're constantly unlocking nodes for that mech if you want. You're also earning, after basically 91 matches, that mech, barring any disasters in that mech, you're good. That mech has got 91 nodes unlocked, and you can move on to the next one. You can have it built out the way you want it to, play it the way you want it to, have it feel the way you want it to, and it will play unique to even the next mech, which is the exact same, chassis and variant. I'm really looking forward to it. Overall, the cost, it's just over 4 million to have it maxed out at 91 skill points. You can still go on and buy all of them. Then you can turn certain ones on and off for a fee of 400 XP, which isn't that bad. It's more of a fee at the back end so that they kind of slow you down from doing it, which is cheaper actually than the modules the modules and things like that you're going to be putting on your mech anyways. Usually you have 2 weapons, that's 6 million. Usually you'll have 1 or 2 mechs, which are 4 million each. That's another 8. I'm doing the math in my head. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looking at 14 million C-bills. And even then, if you don't build it out the way the enhancements are, or the quirks in the current system, the mech wouldn't be at peak efficiency. Now, you build the mech out you want, you set it up the way you want it to, and you make it as dangerous as you can. It's going to be very interesting. This is how you purchase the skill points. It's actually very easy. I'm actually going to show you here really quick. This is the historical ones. You click on whichever ones you want. Like if you want to purchase the skill point because you don't have any skill points for a mech, you click this and you get Oh my god, they're not they don't show the screen. Oh yeah, it's right here. And you say how much experience points you want to put here, how many general experience are you going to use, how many mech experience, blah, 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 to then buy the nodes. You can actually say 50, 41, etc. That's how you buy it. That's pretty good. I like that. Or you can migrate them by saying historical skill points, 91, or the general ones, or not. Those are on this side by clicking over here. It's pretty easy. It even shows you right here how many you have available and how many are required for what you just did, which is good. It's a couple extra clicks, but it makes sense for the start because you have so many options now of the transfer. Basically, over time, you're going to get less and less options, which is good. Basically, you just buy the skill points outright, which is good. So Black Widow. So here are the skills. Here is the firepower tree. As you can see, they made it more generic, where you can go down, for example, range and cooldown here, range and cooldown, velocity, heat gens are over here. They have made it so that people are probably going to max out firepower at the beginning a lot. I don't think I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Depending on what mech I have, I'm going to specialize it in certain things. Certain mechs are going to get certain efficiencies that I want. Certain mechs are going to be brawlers, so they're going to get lots of armor and mobility, no firepower quirks. Some mechs are going to get all firepower and all armor, and I don't care about mobility because they're going to be sitting back and they're just going to be putting rounds down range. Some mechs are all going to be about support, so they're going to get the mech tech, or operations ones, which are things like seismic, and larger sensor ranges, things like that. And then obviously the even more supporting mechs are going to get additional RD strikes, additional UAVs, things like that for them. I'm looking forward to that actually. Here is what overall each one does. So for example, the universal nodes. Here is what some of the stuff does, by the way. So overall cooldown increases cooldown efficiency of your mech. Heat gen decreases the heat generated by the weaponry. Is heat gen in here? Oh, it is. Oh, wow. Okay. Good to know. Range obviously increases your range. Velocity increases the velocity of projectiles, missiles, and PPCs. PPCs. Laser duration decreases the duration of laser time, but makes the damage up. That's right there, right there, and there. And that's it. So missiles and lasers are kind of mixed over here. Then lasers over here too. Oh, I see what they did. Except there's no ballistic over here. They got some ballistic there. They spread out the ballistic, the missile, and the energy. So missiles mostly on the left. Energy is kind of in the middle. I'm sorry for a second. I'm going to clear my throat. Sorry about that. Energy is mostly in the middle, and then ballistic is on the far right, because everyone takes energy in ballistic. High explosive increases the amount of critical damage dealt if a missile causes a critical hit. Laser duration, but deals full power, blah, blah, blah. Missile rack provides extra missiles per ton. Missile spread reduces missile spread. Gauss charge increases the amount of time your Gauss can maintain a full charge. Ow. That one right there is amazing. I used that one and maxed it out on the last PTS. You can sit there and hold and hold and hold for quite a long time, actually. It feels like an eternity when you're holding that button, because then you can just sit there and aim exactly where you want it to and then let go. A dual or a quad Gauss build, that's going to be pretty dangerous. Obviously, UAC jam chance reduction, LBX spread reduction, magazine capacity for ballistics. So overall, it shows you here what the universal nodes do. So each one here for range, for ballistic, missile, and energy increases the range by 1.5%. Overall, for energy range, for the clans, same thing, 1.5%. Inner cooldown weapon, weapon cooldown, the generic cooldown. It's it's a 0.9 reduction for the inner sphere, while it's a 0.7 reduction for clans. And then there's your max there. Overall velocity for PPCs, each node for velocity is 2%. There's your max there. Clan, same thing, 2 and 10. Heat gen, same thing. Every heat gen, the weapon does. Your weapons do minus 1% of their heat, to a total reduction of 8% for both. And last but not least, laser duration, which is different again. 1.5% laser duration reduction per node to a maximum of 15% reduction for the inner sphere. Well, the clans, it's a 1% reduction for every node to a 10% total. Now, this is one of their ways they're actually trying to balance the system. At the back end, apparently they're trying to do a lot of things where they're really, they're doing things with engines, with the energy weapons and things like that, where they're slowly tweaking things here and there, just to get things just right. Here is the ammo increase capacities. It's a little lopsided, more towards the clans, obviously, than it is the inner sphere. But that's because clan weaponry, technically being more smaller and compact, you can put more ammo basically per ton. So AC2s even, but AC5s, clans get 6 rounds extra, inner sphere gets 3, and then inner sphere gets 2, clans get 6. AC20 rounds, inner sphere gets 1, clans get 4. LBX 10 rounds, both get 2. UX 3 and 6, and then Gauss both get 1 extra round. Here is the survival. Now, the survival node in my eyes is going to be one of the bigger ones. The reason why this is going to be one of the bigger ones, and is because this one may make or break certain mechs. For example, you don't have to put this on an Atlas, but putting this, and it'll be fine. It'll still absorb a lot of damage. You put this on an Atlas, and oh boy, it is going to be insane. We're going to go through what options they do and just how they're really going to affect you. First off, reinforcement casting, which is this. Shock absorbance, armor hardening. Right there. There and there. And actually the first one, so that's those 3 right there. But I thought there was actually 5 of them. Oh, there's another one over there, and there's another one over there. And there should be one down here somewhere, right? There it is. Oh, there's the other one. So reinforcement casting reduces the chance of taking a critical hit. That is a big deal. For mechs and people that play specifically with high alphas, want to get that, strip the armor, get the crit in there real fast. If someone has reinforced casting, that is going to throw things askew, we'll say. Next one, shock absorbance. It reduces the amount of damage taken when you fall, which is good. I would probably throw one of those on, on the big guys that are slower, that I tend to walk off cliffs with. Basically, or mechs that I don't have jump jets with. The next one is AMS overload. It increases the damage of your anti-missile system. I will take that only if I'm running specifically an AMS build. Now that there's rewards associated with shooting down missiles. But there's really not many mechs really that utilize that yet. Skeletal density is another one. It increases the amount of your internal structure. Helps you get less crits. Think. Armor hardening. It increases your amount of armor. That's right. You can actually get a thing that increases your armor no matter what. Which is right here. These two. A whole bunch down here. Overall, very exciting. Overall, this shows you what will be done. So here, an important trait for savagery is skeletal density and armor hardening values are contingent upon exact tonnage rather than weight class. Tables below are truncated for clean formatting, but percentages scale at 1% per ton increment for total values, 0.1% per node. So overall, modifies. So skeletal density, if I'm not mistaken, you can get it to a maximum of 41%. with a 4.1% increase slowly. So you notice the number actually goes down for armor hardening and skeletal density per node as it goes. But in the end, that 25% of that 100-ton mech, that's going to be dangerous. Very, very dangerous. This is probably something they're going to have issues with in the short term, I think. I think they're going to be tweak. They're going to probably on the back end tweak that quite a bit. Another thing is the mobility tree. So the mobility tree, now that engines no longer are associated with your maneuverability, which completely makes sense, to be honest with you. They've also reworked the way engines also affect, or speed itself affects you. For example, if you're turning slower, or if you're going slower, you turn a lot better, which is just classic physics. When driving a tank, if you do a hard right, you're not going to make a hard right immediately. If you're driving a car and you make a hard right, you're not going to be able to make a hard right, right? You want to turn and still keeping yourself in control. It's going to take you a while, right? You'll slowly move. But if you're moving slower, you'll be able to get around quicker. And they bell curve this. They've actually show it on the maneuverability section of the mech spec screen. But there's ways to tweak your mech, obviously. Make the arms move better, left, right, up, down, make your torso twist, and all that stuff, and speed tweak in the mobility tree. So you got your torso yaw, handbrake turn, kinetic burst. I think we did torso speed already. Torso pitch. Obviously, speed tweak is all the way at the bottom because it is the big thing, right? What they're trying to do basically is they want you to know that if you want to go all the way down to speed tweak, you know, the reason why it's all the way at the bottom is because it's very effective and it's worth a lot. So you have to go through. So one of the things you have to look at is, well, is speed tweak worth a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 27 nodes. Just to sync to make sure that I have speed tweak on my mech. Well, do I really need speed tweak on my Jenner, on my Locust, on my mech that already goes 60, 70, or 70 or 80 or 90 kilometers an hour? Well, why not? Therefore, I'm not worried about speed tweak. I'm more worried about torso yaw, torso twist, arm, so I can block the shots. It'll be like choo, 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 stuff like that. So, no idea why I just did that. So overall, kinetic burst increases your acceleration rate. Handbrake increases obviously your handbrake. Oh, it used to be handbrake turn. So handbrake now decreases your acceleration rate. Torso yaw increases the amount your mech can twist. Torso pitch is where you can go back forth. Torso speed increases which you can twist your torso. Anchor turn increases the so they actually separated perfectly. Increases your turn the turn radius of your mech. And then speed tweak increases your overall top speed. Overall weight class. This is how it affects things as you go. Jump jets, vectoring, heat shielding, vent calibration, and then lift speed. So heat shielding reduces the amount of heat generated while you jump. Vent calibration it increases your burn time. Vectoring actually gives you a bit of a forward thrust when you do it. And then lift speed just gives you that initial pa when you hop. To be honest with you, what's going to be the most is going to be vent calibration. And then for a lot of people that like to run around and use their jump jets, vectoring is going to be another one. You're basically going to go straight down here and straight down there. There's people that are going to be running and jumping a lot. Trying to jump in clear spots, running around, playing around, fiddling and farting around to minimize that maneuverability. Next off, we have operations. So that's like cooking. This is a lot of your module stuff. So you also have things like heat containment, though, hill climb, cool running, quick ignition, proof gyros. Actually, they changed this one. No, actually, no. This one's all about basically taking less shake when you take artillery rounds, running a little colder, keeping your speed when you run up hills, and keeping your speed when you lose a leg as well. That's all this is about, which is important to a point. So, quick ignition. If you shut down because of overheating, you start up faster. Improved gyros reduces the amount of screen shake when you get hit by by ballistics or missiles. Speed retention. It helps you keep that KPH up. If you lose your leg or arm, obviously capped at 50 KPH. Heat containment increases your overall threshold. Hill climb reduces how much you slow down when you hit a slope. Last but not least, cool run increases your heat efficiency. Or dissipation efficiency. Basically, how fast you bleed off health. Sensor systems. This is where a lot of people are complaining about the fact that they broke up a lot of the modules in the last couple things. I don't mind this. Now you get a little bit of everything to order a little bit of what you want. Now, yeah, you have to take certain things, but in the end, it's all good for you anyways. The further down it is, the more it's actually valuable. So you have to think, is seismic worth me sinking in 5, technically 6 nodes? Do I really need advanced zoom on my mech? Well, that's worth 4. Do I really want to get that sensor range and that increased sensor range on my mech because it's a light? Yeah, I do. Well, that's worth 4. Well, if I'm going to be a light, I'm going to be scouting and hitting mechs. Well, there's also 4 targeting I can get. Well, yeah, you know what? Let's get those 4 for target info gatherings. Let's make sure that we got everything. Actually, you know what? Let's take that 5th one. Oh, look at that. There's a radar derp. There's another sensor range. In the end, the further down you go for this, in my eyes, it unlocks additional options, and it's worth the investment, depending on the mech and the build, obviously. Overall, what the nodes do, so sensor range, target info gathering, decreases the duration time required to gather detailed information about an enemy mech. So when you hit R on it. For the people who don't hit R, R is to lock on. If you're locked on, people in the daisy chain can see the guy. When they see the guy and say they have LRMs, they can lob LRMs at them. Or at least they'll know the guy's there. If they don't, and they'll know what to do. R is your friend. Next one is sensor range. Boosts the range of your sensors. Target decay. Increases the amount of time a mech can be tracked once it leaves your line of sight. So, building in the way, mech goes behind the line of sight, boom, you lose it. With target retention, target decay. Target decay. As he runs with a note of target decay, as he runs in behind the building, you'll hold on to him just for that extra few seconds, which could be enough to see that the guy stopped and did a complete 180 and is coming back the other side, or to see that he's continuing on. Target retention allows you to retain target information when the enemy moves behind you. It's 360 target retention. Advanced zoom, to be able to do the whole zoom in thing. Seismic, that gives you the ability to see people around you when you're not moving. There's actually 2 of them, one over here. There's one here, and then one down here. Each one, I believe, does 100 meters. Then there's radar derp, that once you break a line of sight with someone, they lose contact with you. Unless they have, obviously, target decay. And then last but not least, enhanced ECM. Helps increase the max range of your ECM. Overall, here's what shows you the max you can get. So lights can get a maximum of 7% to their sensors. Mediums are 5, heavies are 3, assaults are 2. Last but not least, the miscellaneous or the auxiliary one. This is going to be the one that everyone kind of uses as a throwaway, or like myself, I'm probably going to be using this quite a bit. Number 1, you get advanced salvos, you get expanded reserves, extra UAVs. I believe you can get up to 4 UAVs or 3 UAVs. I have to double check. More consumable slots, obviously. This thing can make this thing, well, let's just say, quite dangerous. So what does an extra consumable do? Well, it gives you an extra consumable slot for your mech. Now that means you can carry 1 of each. 1 artillery, 1 airstrike, and 1 UAV. If you unlock the extra consumable slot, which is the first one there and there. The max you can have is 4. That's 1 UAV, 1 airstrike, but in the process of doing all that, you're going to end up with an extra UAV, and you're going to end up with an extra airstrike or arty strike. So you'll end up with 2 arty and 2 UAVs, or 2 airstrikes and 2 UAVs. It's exciting. Or even you can have, actually no. When you do that, you can end up with 1 cool shot, one UAV, one artillery strike, and one artillery strike, and then one airstrike, which is really good in my eyes. But you can see here, extra consumable slot gives you an extra consumable. UAV duration increases how long your UAV stands up. UAV range increases how far it can see. Extra UAV gives you an extra UAV. You have to make sure that you know it will use up one of those 4 slots. Advanced salvos increases the duration of air and artillery strikes. I mean, they'll actually last longer. Expanded reserves gives you the ability to bring an additional strike into the fight. That means you can use either an artillery strike or an airstrike. Enhanced spotting. This increases the accuracy of the airstrikes and artillery strikes by 20%. Capture assist. It's just as the module. It helps you capture, in conquest, domination, the power thingamajiggy and incursion, bases, you name it. Cool shot obviously increases the enhanced cool shot, increases cool shot efficiency itself by 25%. Coolant reserves gives you an additional cool shot. Cool shot cooldown reduces the cooldown before you can use the next one. And then last but not least, enhanced narc. And overall, here's how the skill tree works. That's active, that's inactive, that's locked. Basically, you left click and move it around. It's not complicated to actually get around. Overall, use your mouse wheel, zoom in and out, left click, move things around. Over here is where you're actually going to see what you add. I will say this, please, 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 don't just go clicking willy-nilly and hit apply changes and then see how your mech is. If I can give you some advice, I'm going to do it at the very end of this whole thing. Believe me when I say this, you'll understand. How to transfer. This is what you're going to see when you first go into the actual skill system, is this right here. To transfer, you type in here how much XP you want to transfer, and you move it over. Hit transfer, type the number in, hit transfer, and it moves to that location. That's it. I'm going to be doing that for all my mechs at the beginning, moving all my XP over, just so I can get rid of this historical XP option. I don't like this. I wish it just kind of went as XP, or they just said, hey, just so you know, everybody, it'll show up as historical XP for 30, 60, 90 days, and then it's just going to be moved over because it's taking up database. There is some information about the trial mechs. We're going to have to look into that here. With the individual variant structure accumulating with the applying mech XP on our new skill tree, mechs no longer accumulate banked XP while being used. However, 48,000 GXP is now provided with a cadet bonus of 25. This bonus will also begin providing retroactive replacement. Hey! So everyone gets this if they did Quebec. If they did if they got cadet bonus 25. Current selection of the trial mech remains unchanged in this patch, as it was the previous system. Do not have any skill status displayed. Okay, so it's the exact same system. That. So all mechs start now with one consumable spot. That's it. Info gathering. They've made some changes to that. They made some changes to DCM. There's some balance changes that they made. Jam duration is now 3.75% on a UAC 2. Missiles. LRMs are no longer 1,000 meters. They're now 900 meters. SRM2's heats have been reduced down to 1.7 from 2. Don't know if I like the LRM reduction, because, I mean, they're long-range missiles. Unless you shifted even the minimum range then as well, but you're making them, basically, you're making them effective here and making them now effective there. It's like they're now less effective, basically. And certain mechs are still going to have quirks as well, though, which we're going to get into. Missile doors, one close now increase a 20% damage reduction. So it's like your Archer. Well, Archer, Cabal, your Kintaro, and your Stalker. Mech abilities. So basically here, I'm not going to go too into detail what they're doing with the mobility. Basically, what they're going to be doing is making the engines more realistic. No longer is it the faster your engine, the better your maneuverability is. The bigger the maneuverability, the larger your engine. Now, with the engine changes and things like that, it's really going to affect the way the mechs move. So you have to go into the mobility tree. And they actually feel, though, that's the thing, right? I want to say this because I've been on the PTS. I've played it. I've tried it. The mechs actually feel realistic. Your deacceleration, your acceleration really feel like these mechs now have weight behind them. Your turn rate, if you're going fast, you can't turn on a dime anymore, which is a very good thing. Torso twist speed on things like Atlases, Kodiaks, Direwolves, even some of the bigger, heavier mechs. It is hard. You know, you're going to be able to run up as a light now and really do serious damage on these guys. They now need better support. I like that. People have to now work more as a unit, and everyone has to play to their strengths. You can now build out your mechs the way you want, enhance them the way you want, basically customize them the way you want. So mechs are going to be pretty, overall, I think, more dangerous. Certain mechs, yeah. If you want, for example, the Kodiak 3 to be as maneuverable as it is right now to how it's going to be in a couple hours, you just got to spec it out in the mech lab under mobility, and you're good to go. And it'll be exactly the way it was. Overall, there is a video that they have here that you can't load for some reason, but man, here's what it looks like after the fact, once you've actually attributed some of your skills to it. I don't mind, actually. I like that. Here is the acceleration. You can see here your turn rate gets better, gets lower. Basically, it's reduced. So you can actually turn tighter the slower you go, which makes sense. Overall, your actual deceleration, acceleration, as it's reduced, it shows you overall. I like that. It shows you your acceleration, deacceleration, shows you what your turn rate is, and shows you what your torso turn rate is. From what I understand is all the information as well is updated internally to the mech lab now as well when you do things. Quirks, I am so not getting into in this, but basically mobility quirks, things like that do remain. Some offensive quirks are still remaining. There's some generic quirks that are being mixed in. Overall, I like it. I will tell you now, I'm not going into it. I'll open it up just to show you. We'll do clan sphere. But this is also not a balanced patch. But here's the clans. As you can see, they're losing a lot of stuff. Like a lot of red. Red means it's being taken out. Simple as that. That's green for some reason. But as you can see, quirks are being removed for the clans a lot. There's not many left. They're going to get the odd little structure bonuses here and there. A little bit of armor here and there. That's it. Inner Sphere, on the other hand, if you look at the Locust 1E, yeah, it's losing the majority of its weapon quirks, but it's also keeping its heat dissipation quirk. The 1M, for example, is keeping its missile cooldown and missile velocity, which means if you take specific enhancements and augmentations above and beyond that, you can actually increase that missile cooldown by a lot. You can actually make this mech even more dangerous than it was before. You can see here the Locust 1V has specifically machine gun rate of fire quirks still. The 3M here lost most of its stuff as well. 3S, 3V lost everything, machine gun rate of fire. The Commando 1B, it's keeping energy range, laser duration, energy cooldown, and heat dissipation. So overall, yeah, a lot of the weapons are going, a lot of the quirks are going, but at the same time, a lot of the quirks are staying. I think for every one quirk, I think it's for every 3 quirks you lose, you keep 1. But then again, you're also now going to be able to have variant 1 of the mech versus variant 2 of the mech are going to also feel very different. I feel as though it's a good step. The mechs are now going to have almost an individual feel, and then you're going to be looking at it going, well, here are the quirks to my awesome 8Q. If I add the following enhancements on the following sections of the tree, this mech is going to be deadly because of PPCs, because of this, because of that, because of maneuverability, speed, whatever. I really think this is a good direction, and I really like it. One of the things they did say is next month is going to be a big pass in the balancing. One of the reasons why they're doing the reduction of the quirks is because of the new weapon system as well. With the new release of the weapon system in the next couple months, It was either remove it now and stop people from spending the skill points that they would put into the system, and then ask for a refund because the quirks are now gone. If you look at a mech and say, okay, well, it already has a 15% reduction in energy heat, I'm not going to spend the skill points to reduce its heat. I'm going to go put that more into maneuverability or armor or whatever. No big deal. Civil War comes out, that mech then loses its heat reduction. Well, that person is going to be like, wait a minute. I just spent X amount of skill points on maneuverability and armor because the mech had the following quirk. So what you're telling me is that now if I wanted the mech to work the way it was before, I have to then take the armor and maneuverability quirks, unlock or deactivate them, and then turn around and buy four more notes. Well, no. Luckily enough. Instead, what they're going to do, and from what I've been reading from the forums, what they've done in the Q&A and in the log here, basically they're going to be looking at this thing constantly now for the next couple months and looking at little things they need to tweak here and there for the Innersphere, the clans, for specific mech chassis, underperformers, overperformers, and all that stuff. And they're going to go in the background and tweak things and make things better. I think this is way better than the quirk system, to be honest with you. Being able to enhance a mech and customize it the way you want it, and then enhance those customizations by picking the node that push it in that direction even further. It's a really good idea. But that's enough for me. This is almost an hour long. Thanks for watching. This is going to take forever to upload. Hopefully you'll be able to watch this while the patch is being applied. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.